Hey, what is up guys, MVASS here, and this is another episode in the Code with MVAS series. And today we are hitting back to our LeetCode Patrons website by Sean Prasad. So in the past two videos, I've covered two problems from a YouTube video that I've seen. I didn't look at the solutions before solving the questions. I haven't seen the second solution yet. Okay, that's a different story. Like I said in one of my old videos, I've covered some problems which I haven't recorded. And this particular problem created a lot of trouble for me. I was trying to record that and solve it, but I spent a lot of time and I couldn't get to the solution in time. So yeah, leaving that aside, now next question is average of levels in a binary tree. Okay, here's the question. It is again similar to the question that I've solved before, but maybe now that I've done that completely, maybe I think that'll have, I'll have a little edge over this problem. I'm not still sure if I'll be able to complete this in time, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot because what's wrong in trying, right? So if this video is too long, please bear with me. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to the question. So the question says, average of levels in a binary tree. So again, this is similar to a level order traversal. You have a binary tree and you have levels, and you're supposed to return the average of each levels. So for the first row, the only number is 3, so the average is 3. For the second row or second level, the average is 20 plus 9 by 2. That will be 30 by 2, 14.5. Yeah, right here. Sorry, 14.5. And for the third level, it's 15 plus 7, which is 22, divided by 2, which is 11. And if 9 had like two children, like 4 and 5 again, then it would be 15 plus 7 plus 4 plus 5 by 4, right? That will be how much? 22 plus 9, 31 by 4. That is roughly 7.8 or 7.75 or something. All right, so that's the basic idea. Again, we'll go for a level order traversal and do the averages. Let's break it down and try to, I'll tell you my plan of action. So right here, since I've done a level order traversal before, I have some idea on how to deal with this. We'll use the concept of breadth first search. It's been a long time since I actually coded one, but I'm trying to use something which is similar to that. I'll take a list and add this node into the list, and I'll add all its children, which are apparently 9 and 20, right? And after that, I'll get the average and add that to our output array, output list. And once I'm done with that, I'll go to 9. I'll begin with 9. I'll take 9 and add its children to the list. I'll add 20's children to the list. And again, take the average of 9 and 20, put that in this particular result list and move on. So that's how I'm planning to do. And the moment where I end this would be if I have not added any element in a specific iteration, then it means that all the nodes that are there, all the nodes that were present in the previous iteration were leaf nodes, and the tree has ended there. So I'll stop when there are no new nodes added into the list in a specific iteration. So in every iteration, what I'll do is initially add root node. For each iteration, I take all the elements from the list okay, so this is what I'll do. So currently in the initial situation, only root node is there in the list, right? So I'll do that for the root node. But after that, for every subsequent iteration, I'll have a start index and an end index, or end index would apparently be the end of the list at that point of time. So for every iteration, I'll have a start index and end index. Let's get into the code and see if it's doable for us. All right, so first thing, I will take node list, okay, and I'll start with the root. So root is the only element that is present in the list. I'll take this line here and put it here. It makes more sense. And then I'll initially go with a while true. Maybe I can change that. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll actually, put the entire pseudocode up top because it's kind of confusing. I'll start it here. So while true, I'll put a while true and then iterate through the loop. And when I see that I can break the loop, I'll put an if condition and try to break it. So what do I need? I need a count, which indicates that number of new elements added to the list, and for node okay, I'll need start index and end index, right? So initially I'll have a start index equal to 0, let's just call it start and end. It's easier to code. Start is 0 and end is equal to 1, or len of node list, which is 1. So it doesn't. It's easy. I mean, it's okay even if we say 0, 1. So what I do is for node in node list of start to end. Okay. So between start and end are the elements that are present in that specific level. What I would do is, I need something to calculate the average as well. So every time my average, okay, let's just take sum and count. It makes it easier. Right? Sum val equals 0. Okay, let's change this variable name. It is new element count, or next level. Let's try the Python style. Next level count sum val, and I have a count. Count is number of elements that are there in this particular level. Okay, it's a little confusing at the moment. Number of elements added to the list is next level count, and sum val is 0. Count is number of elements iterated in the for loop. Alright, that is good. So between, what do I do now? For node and start, okay, I will put all its children, right? If I have left, I'll put left. If I have right, I'll put right. If node dot left not equals none, let's say node list dot append node dot left. Do I have to do that? Yeah, because I don't want to mess up with the count. Count plus equals 1. If node dot right not equals none, I have node list dot right, node list dot append. I'm inserting node dot right into the list. Alright, again, count plus equals, this is not count, this is next level count, right? So these are the number of elements that are newly added. So I use this variable to make sure, I use this specific variable to see if I can break this while true, break this infinite loop or not. So next level count plus equals 1. So for each node, I'm seeing if it's having a left node, I'm adding the left node. If it's having a right node, I'm adding the right node, and apparently and accordingly I'm increasing the next level count. And along with this, what do I do? Regardless of it having a next node, left node or a right node, I would have to say sum val plus equals node dot val, right? Node cannot be null because we are doing a filtering here. Can I avoid that? I'm trying to avoid that. But I don't want to mess up with the count as well. Okay, let's get to the basic solution, and then maybe we can improve it and do it in a better way. So sum val is there, and count plus equals 1. So I'm adding a new element every time for every node that's possible. So in the end, I need a result list, right? Start and end are there. Result list. Okay, my node list is not properly named, or naming convention is not properly maintained. Okay, I'll let it pass for now. And so what do I do after the for loop? Do I do it after the for loop? No, I'll somehow, yeah. So once I've iterated through all the elements, I'll have to update the start and end index. Start and end must be updated. What will be my new start? I'll start after, okay, I'll just update the start for now. I'll say start is equal to, can I say this? Right, I started at 0, ended at 1, right? So in my next iteration, my starting position would be 1. And let us say I have 2 nodes. So I start at 1, end at 3, Now my starting position would be 3. So I can say start equals end, and end would be length of the list. Okay. Oh, I can actually do the same thing. Start comma end is equal to. No, let's stick to this. Length of node list, right? Because if I added 4 elements here, then length of node list would be the end index of that. So how do I decide whether I can break it or not? I can do this before itself, right? So if next level count equals 0, that means that there is no new element that is added. Return. Or no, I want to break for now. I can actually go ahead and put that in. No, this is something that is supposed to be in my while loop. Yeah, this is something. Yeah, that makes sense. So after the for loop, I'll have to verify. So I completed this step, added to the result list. So this is how it is supposed to be done. So this is done. I've updated the start and end, and I'm supposed to update the result list, right? So I can update the result list as soon as I'm out. Result list dot append sum val divided by, it's a floating point division, so I'll use a single slash count. So result list will be updated after the entire row is finished. This is where the entire row is iterated. So my result list is updated, and then I'll see if I can break the loop. If there are no new elements added, which means it is the last level of the linked list, I'll break. Or if not, then I'll update the start and end, and the next iteration goes on. So this looks pretty straightforward to me. So once this loop is broken, I can return the return list, result list. Is it result list or result val? Result list, yeah. All right, this looks okay to me. Did I mess things up? Did I mess up anything? I have a start and end index. So this is something that is the first step, and then I have a start and end index. For each node, I'm trying to add its left and right values. It's like enqueuing. Instead of dequeuing and adding all that mess, what I'm trying to do is I'm just updating the start to go to a next place. Since Python does not have a limited array, my queue is unlimited. So instead of deleting or popping the first few elements of the queue, I'm just moving the front index or the start index, and the end would change. Yeah, I think it looks okay to me. Let's go ahead and see what the existing test case is. 3, 9, 20, 15, 7. Okay, this is this one. 3, 9, 20, 15, 7. Oh wait, there is no hash given. So how do I know if 15 and 7 are children of 9? Oh, it doesn't matter, right? So it's like first one element is one, next two elements are the other, next two elements are the other. Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't matter. Let's see. Okay, it got accepted. Let's try some test cases of our own. We have 3 and 9, just skewed subtree, and we have left skewed tree. We have 3. I mean, I still don't understand how do I decide, how do I tell, like, when I have this 3, 9, 20, 13, 14, 15. Now, how am I telling that 3 is a node, 9 is a node? I mean, 3 has a left child which is 9, 9 has a left child which is 20, 20 has a left child which is 13. So if that is the case, like if it's a left skewed tree, then how is it different from 3 having 9 and 20 as children, 9 having 13 and 14 as children, and 20 is having 15 as a child? I'm confused. Like in the previous example, the which one? Binary tree traversal, for this question, we had nulls given for empty values. 3, 9, 20, null, 15, 7 made sense because 9 had 2 children, 15 and 7, and since both of them are null, they've specifically said they are null. But what am I doing here? Like it's just 3, 9. Where is the input? 3, 9, 15, 7 in the previous case. All right. Let's just run the test case and see if it's evaluating against its solutions and finding any errors. Did I miss am I stuck in an infinite loop or something? It worked. So 3, 14.5, 14. So 3 makes sense. 14.5. And are these three in a single level? Will that be 14? Yeah, 13, 14, 15, its average is 14. Okay, so it is assuming that 9 is having 13, 14 and 20 is having a 15. Let's try a skewed tree like we were saying. We say 3 has 9 and there is no right child, null. In 20 there is no right child, null. And 13 has no right child, null. Null, right? Since we didn't modify any code, I don't have to keep the existing test case. Then my output should also be 3, 9, 20, 14, 13, 14, 15. Why is it taking so long? Because I'm not a premium member maybe? Oh yeah, 3, 9, 20, 13, 14, 15. Okay, he didn't give any examples with nulls, but apparently that is what it is. If you don't have a right child, you specify with null. Okay, the front-end test cases worked fine. Now what if I am having a empty node, right? Empty root. I'll have to deal with that as well. So if there is an empty root, I'll just return an empty list, right? If root is none, return empty list. Because that is something I missed. Now let me give it with an empty test case. Okay, empty expected. And let's go ahead and submit. Nice, I'm happy. So, to be completely honest, this was possible just because I had to struggle through this question. It's not very perfectly written. Maybe I kind of complicated things a bit. Now that I've written this, I'm using a very similar logic here as well. But now that I've used this, I've done this problem before. I'm having, okay, this one was good. Okay, I'm supposed to list out all the elements in a level ordered traversal, so I have taken a list comprehension. Nice. Maybe I could do this in a better way right now if I look at it, but yeah, that's another video. So the walkthrough is simple. I'm having each level will be added to the node list in a specific iteration of this while loop. Okay, so first level is added by us before the while loop has started, and then I'm saying as long as in this level do this. So I'm doing a BFS traversal, so and so quote unquote BFS traversal, where I'm having taking every node between that start and end index and adding them up. One thing I was doing here that I realized was when I was first solving it, I didn't keep this. Okay, so I said I until end, because I know the end index is the end of the list. But what I'm doing here is I'm updating the queue as well, right? So when I don't specify an end index, what was happening was it started and it said as long as there are elements in that list, go on. Okay, and I've been adding new elements into the list, and the list was going on and on and on. All right, so that is the reason I thought I need an end index. So I have a good naming convention here, start and end, compared to what was the naming convention I have here, I and level end index. This is something that I did not film. I've done this off record and I was able to do it, but when I turned the camera on, I did the camera part first. It was taking more than an hour, and it was taking around 50 minutes, not more than an hour, to get to the solution, but I was still not in a position to get the solution. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of this video. If you've stayed until this part, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you find any better ways of solving this or any elegant ways of solving this, I would happily try to learn from you. That's pretty much it. If you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps the video and the channel. If you want to watch more of these videos and a few more videos that I'm trying to make in different categories, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get notified every single time I make a new video, hit that bell icon. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.